Hey guys, so I wanted to come and do a quick little video for you because I've been chatting with a few gals lately, and with going virtual, I feel like sometimes we have overcomplicated things, and I know there's a lot of new people, and so sometimes we just need to recap some things um, that we've always done, but maybe now that we're using a new system, we're doing virtual. For me, I just kind of like hit me the other day. I'm like, there are so many things that are exactly the same as an in-person presentation as it is with a virtual presentation. So I'm specifically going to talk about virtual presentations and what hostess coaching looks like, because I struggled in the very beginning of my business with hostess coaching, and I would have these parties where my hostess would have people come and then wouldn't have people come, and my hostess would end up with no rewards, and I would feel stupid. I'd feel like, well, shoot, like, sorry, you don't get anything. And I made them think that Arbonne's host rewards were great, which they are, but I didn't tell them how to get their host rewards, and I didn't hostess coach them. And so we have lots of trainings on hostess coaching for in-home presentations, and we even have one on our Rooted Hope Facebook page for you guys. But I'm specifically going to chat a little bit about hostess coaching for virtual parties, because I have found that if you don't hostess coach for your virtual party, you might as well just chump up your party as a loss. And this kind of hit me a few weeks ago, and so I was chatting with a couple of gals, and they're like, you need to do a video so everyone can benefit from this. So here goes. I'm looking lovely today, but I thought if you never do it, you never do it. So I snuck out of my house, and I hope this video's okay. I'm sitting outside, so you might hear crickets and lots of other things in the midst of it, but hopefully we can get this videoed before the sun goes down. So honestly, it's very simple. The biggest thing is why do you need a hostess coach? And if you know why, then you'll know what you need to do. And so the reason we hostess coach is, first of all, the most important thing is you don't want to waste your time or the host's time. Like, time is so precious. And if I'm going to take an evening out of my schedule to do an Arbonne presentation, obviously we want to make it count. We want to make it count for us. We want it to be profitable for us, and we want it to be profitable for our hostess. And so, and obviously your host wants it to be profitable for them. And so a couple of things. If you have a host that is hosting for you that has never used Arbonne before and they don't really know what makes Arbonne different, your chances of having a great Arbonne presentation, virtual or in person, are a lot lower. What I have found is when your hostess is excited about Arbonne and they have either got to try some of the products, especially if they've got to try some of the products, if they know what makes Arbonne different, they're excited to try it, that can help. But if your hostess has been able to try like the skincare line, or has been able to try a couple of fizz, they're going to be a lot more excited about telling their friends about it. But if they're just doing a favor for you, and a lot of times we ask for the presentation as a favor, they're not going to have as great of a success with their presentation because they're not excited. I wasn't excited until I knew what made Arbonne different. Then I felt like everybody needs to know. And so our goal as a consultant is to get your hostess excited about hosting. So one of the things that I found, whether I'm doing virtual or in person, I like to make sure my host has used some type of Arbonne product, whether it's a skincare sample and a fizz. And to me, that's my investment in my business, and I have seen the benefits of it over and over and over. Some people are like, oh, I don't do samples. That's fine, but I will tell you, I have seen massive difference in my business when I do use a skincare sample and fizz. Now, the other goal is you have to hostess coach your hostess to use those samples. So what you're going to tell your hostess is hey, I'm very grateful that you're doing this for me, and it means the world to me, but I really, really want to make it worth your time. And your friends could care less about what I think about Arbonne. They know I love Arbonne, and I'm the Arbonne consultant, so I'm going to be obviously trying to sell something to them. And so they think I've just drank the Kool-Aid, and they don't care what I think because I'm the consultant. Of course, I think it's amazing. But they trust what you think, and I really want you to be honest about what you think about these products. And so I'm going to send you a little goodie bag, and I would love for you, like, will you promise me that you'll use this skincare exclusively so that you can tell your friends what you thought about the skincare when you used it, because they're going to care more about what you think. And honestly, if you love it your friends are gonna love it. And also the fizz. And so I walk them through how to use the skincare once they get it, like I mail it to them. And then I walk them through, and if you're doing virtual, you guys, I used to do this for in-person presentations. When someone would schedule an in-person presentation, normally at the event, I would hand it to them. If they scheduled with me over the phone, I'd mail it to them. So it's really no different than an in-home versus a virtual. It's just with virtual, you have to mail it to them. So sometimes I would rather wait an extra 4 or 5 days and schedule my presentation 4 or 5 days out and have a successful event than to hurry up and try and cram it in 2 days, because you can do virtuals back to back. Like you can do 3 or 4 in a day. So get your host using something so they can be excited about it. And let them know that you're gonna need them to partner with you, and not in a bossy way, but like, I really wanna help you earn rewards. I got my blankie out here. It's kind of chilly on this August evening, kind of crazy. It's been storming here. But let them know that if they partner with you, they're going to have a lot more of a chance of having a great event. And after they try the skincare, they're going to want it all, and you're going to help them earn it. So that's why you hostess coach, because it's not worth your time if you're not going to hostess coach. After your hostess gets her products, walk her through how to use the samples. Fizz, mascara, and skincare. That's what I send. Obviously the mascara, they're gonna love the mascara right off the bat. Skincare, they're gonna love the skincare. I walk them through how to use it and ask them to use it exclusively. And then the fizz, I always tell them, wait until you feel a little groggy. Like if you wake up in the morning, or if you're like not a morning person and you're like, ugh, use the fizz in the morning. Pay attention to how you feel before you use it, and pay attention to the way you feel 15 minutes later. Or if you hit that 2 o'clock in the afternoon crash, pay attention to how you feel. Like, oh my gosh, I need a nap. Chug your fizz, and then set a 15-minute timer, because you're gonna forget. And in 15 minutes, you're gonna be like, oh my gosh, I feel like a new person, because fizz is magic. And so you're gonna get them excited. Speaking of fizz, I'm like, let me chug my fizz. I love my fizz. It has a mind health in it. But anyway, so get your hostess excited, and when they're excited, like I had a host that just hosted a couple nights ago, and I also gave her a few Digestion Plus because she has a lot of gut issues. And after just 4 packets of Digestion Plus, she was raving about Digestion Plus in the Facebook group. I didn't have to sell, she was selling. And so she was selling the skincare. Her friends were commenting on her post way more than they were on my post. And when your host is excited, their friends care what they think, not what I think. So, the other thing I do, so that's why we hostess coach. And then what do we have our hostess do? So what I do ahead of time, so whenever I set up the event, I get everything scheduled, and I don't do my presentations and events, I do them in groups, just because I can do polls on there. And I just like groups a lot better, because people can add people after the presentation's over. And I just feel like it's a lot more user-friendly, so I do groups. So I have a text message that I send to my hostess that once I get everything set up, I invite my hostess and I make her an admin on there, and I tell her, I'm like, hey, I want you to be able to see who's invited and who's accepted their friend request, and I show her like all that stuff, like where she can see who's been invited and who's like a member of the group now, which obviously she can see the members, but I want her to see who's invited, who hasn't responded to. And so I just send her a little text message that says something like, hey, and most of this is done through text messaging. So the first one is, I've added you to the group. Make sure you accept your membership or your approval for the group. I've also, below is a text message that you can send to your friends after you invite them, to make sure that they accept the invitation to the group as well, because a lot of people just ignore these if you don't send them that text message. And so basically, and if anyone needs these, my example text messages, I can send those to you. So just let me know. And when I post this, I don't know if there's an option for me to post my verbiage in the comments, but I'll be able to do that hopefully. So anyway, first text is for them to send their friends and say, hey, I'm hosting an Arbonne presentation. I'm super excited about it. I invited you to the Facebook group. Would love for you to be live with me. Please make sure you check your notifications and accept the invitation so you can be live with me. I'm excited to share Arbonne with you. Something like that. Second text message. So then as I'm posting things throughout the event, I'm letting my hostess know, as you try your products and love them, like post your loves and the things that you love about Arbonne, because your friends are going to care more about what you think than what I think. And if you want to have a great event, then they want to hear from you, not me. And so like the hostesses that actually do that, some of them won't. They're like, no, I don't want to. And a lot of it's because they're not super passionate about the products. So what I have found is making sure those hostesses use the product beforehand. But like the ones who will go on there and post something about the skincare, like, oh my gosh, I can't believe how soft my skin feels. I love, love, love this skincare. Their friends will be like, oh my gosh, tell me more about the skincare. And then I'll be on there helping like like go through the events and just answer questions and stuff like that. But it creates excitement before the presentation even starts. So that's the one thing. The other thing I do is I have my host right before the event starts. Like the day of the event, I have her send another text message to her friends that just says something like, hey, I'm super excited about my party tonight. If I have 8 friends who are on live from the very beginning to the end, I actually get a free goodie bag, or I get a free product, or if they want a free makeup primer, you can say I get a free makeup primer, I get a free whatever. So find out what they love, or if you have something on your shelf that you can part with, give them that, or I actually get a really deep discount. Whatever you want to give them, but have something in there that they will receive if their friends are on live. And then also it says something like your friends, you will also get a discount, or you will also get more chances to be entered into the free product drawing just because you're live from the beginning to the end, something like that. So, and I have, these are all pre-generated and I just tweak them a little bit for each person. So I send something like that, like right the day of the presentation, so they make sure they're live and they know that their friend is banking on them being live because they have something free that they want to earn. And then immediately following the presentation, I send a message to my hostess and I say, hey, this was super exciting. Your friends will, like, most of the time, and I normally voice message, I just say most of the time, if you really want to have a great presentation and you want people to order, the people who are going to order within 24 hours. The people who don't order within 24 hours, normally they're not going to order. So what I recommend is that if you want to put together a little group text message with me and each of your friends, so like with Candy that was on tonight, like if you want to put a little group text message together, and if you don't have their cell phone number, you can just put a Facebook Messenger group together of us and just put us together, and you can send them something like this. And I give my hostess everything she needs to make it easy for her. But that text message basically says something like, hey Candy, thank you so much for being at my party live tonight. I put together a little text message group of me and Sherry, so that way if you have any questions, you'll have her contact information and she can help answer those questions for you. I know she wants to help you get the best deal, something like that. And I'm super grateful for you just being a part of this event. So something like that. And if it's someone who didn't get to listen to the presentation, then I have her send something like, hey, Sandy, my dog just came running out here. Hey, Sandy, or hey, Candy, I just wanted to touch base with you. I know my party was last night. I don't know if you got to watch it, but I just tagged your name in the comments of the presentation. I have her go tag their name in there, so that way you can watch it. And I would love to touch base with you to see what you loved most about it. Excited to hear your feedback. Something like that, just to touch base with them. And so your hostess is really the key. And I know it sounds like it's a lot of work, but it's really not. You're doing most of the work for your hostess. And at the end of the day, the other thing I always do in the beginning is I send my host a little picture that I've created that has Arbonne's Host Rewards on it. And I said, this is how you earn Arbonne Host Rewards. And I want you to get the best bang for your buck. And I would love to help you to earn whatever you want. And so that way they know ahead of time what they need to earn rewards. And so they know what they're working towards. And then that way at the very end, if no one orders anything, you don't feel bad because you already let her know up front what it takes and how she can help to make the odds better. And then if nothing happens, you don't feel so bad. But I found if I wasn't up front with my host ahead of time, I felt like that was on me. But if you tell them and then they just drop the ball, that's not on you, that's on them. And you don't have to feel bad. You just look for the next hostess who is excited about Arbonne, or you help your host get excited about Arbonne and help them to figure out ways that they can still get host rewards. And yeah, I mean, honestly, really, another big tip is do not wait more than 48 hours. Like, honestly, like I try to do my follow-up messages like immediately following a presentation. I know it sounds like, oh, that's a lot, but sometimes I'll either do it immediately or the next morning while it's fresh on their brain, because the longer they wait, the chances of them actually placing an order or being interested in the business, especially if it's someone that you want to reach out to about the business, if they've interacted a lot, if they've asked a lot of questions, if they seem they're very intrigued, those are people you want to be talking to about the business. And so last night, just for instance, I have a gal, Trina, who's getting started, and I had kind of walked her through just, like following up, and she was on it. And she reached out to a girl, didn't know, friend requested her. That's the other thing, I always friend request everyone who's in a group presentation. As soon as the hostess is adding them, I'm friend requesting them, I'm shooting them a personal message. So I'm connecting with people, but my connection is my hostess. And so I will shoot them a little message like, hey, my name's Sherry. I'm super excited to be hosting Marie's presentation. I know Marie through blah, 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 blah. I can't wait to get to know you more and get to know how you know Marie. Thanks so much for being a part of this event. I know it's going to be a fun night. If you have any questions leading up to this, let me know. And I'm also going to be posting things to ask you if you have specific concerns. If you comment on any of those, you get extra draws, and it helps me to know how I can tweak my presentation to actually talk about what people want to hear about. So something like that. And then I just try to interact with them as much as possible. I mean, I'm busy, and so I don't do as good at this as probably some people could, but if you see them post a picture of their cute little puppy, you can be like, oh my gosh, your dog is so cute. So just be a friend with them. Don't be fake. Don't lie. If their dog's ugly, don't tell them their dog's cute. But be real, be genuine, and be kind, because and be genuinely interested in other people. You don't want to just be that interesting person. You want to be interested in other people, but build a relationship, and you can totally do that on Facebook. I have so many hosts and hostesses that I feel like I know them, and most of them I've never even met since I've been doing virtual presentations. So it's kind of blowing my mind what is available to us with virtual, but we must be intentional with it as well, just like we are with a regular presentation. There's actually one more thing I was thinking about too with hostess coaching, and I probably should have said this in the beginning, but when you're talking to your hostess, really encouraging her to get the right people to the presentation, because you can just randomly invite everybody, and that's fine. You can invite a bunch of people, but if there's people she would really like to be at the presentation, so and I coach my hostess to invite people that I really feel like would benefit from Arbonne or would care about Arbonne. And so hostess coaching is also getting the right people into your presentation. So when we do a regular presentation, we have the little who to invite, and so using that tool even is an amazing tool. So if I'll tell my hostess, if you know of anyone who is looking to get healthy, or keeps saying I need to get myself healthy, or you just know they need to get themselves healthy, invite them and just say, hey, I keep thinking about you. I think you would for sure love to hear about this information. I think it'd be right up your alley and something that could help you. Would you please just listen? Or if you know of anyone who already goes and gets their nails done, or goes and gets a pedicure, or goes and gets, buys skincare from the mall, they're already investing in their skincare and in themselves, and they see the value of investing in themselves. So those are great people to invite, because they already are seeing the value in that. And people who are already on a healthy lifestyle journey, who maybe aren't right in their sweet spot, those are great people to invite too. Anyone who is in their 30s or above, they're starting to see the first signs of wrinkles, those are great people. Kids who are in college, I mean, really anyone is a perfect candidate, but think specifically. And if there's some people that you're oh my gosh, my Uncle Sam needs to for sure hear this information on 30 Days to Healthy Living, or my Aunt so-and-so is constantly complaining about her wrinkles and she needs to get her wrinkles taken away, then those are great people just to invite them. And who knows, they might not be interested, but they might be, and you could be the one that introduced them to Arbonne. So that is coaching your hostess to get the right people to the presentation. So that's another thing to just kind of keep in mind as well when you're doing your hostess coaching. So I hope this has been helpful, and if you have questions, like I said, just let me know.